Hello and welcome to the Pioneers of the Great Awakening. This is a specific new, we've been doing it for a month now. We have our fourth guest here, which is an amazing artist that is playing her part on the Great Awakening, just like all of us, awakening to our purpose and stepping out into the world and, bringing our gifts to the world. And her name is Amazee, and she lives in Mallorca, Spain. And she's a light worker, an awakener, a conscious MC vocal recording artist. And she's a Vital Danza and Vital Development facilitator, right? She's been performing a spiritual raves and is well known in the new conscious raving scene. With her amazing vocal talent and knowledge of dancing, she is creating gateways for us to express and flow through dance, taking us to a divine sacred space on the mic, guiding the music and everyone at the gathering to a subliminal state. So she's a shaman, sort of modern rave shaman, if she let me say that. Welcome, Amazee, to the Pioneers of the Great Awakening. And before we get started, tell us something interesting about yourself that most people don't know about.
Ooh. Hello, everyone. I hope you're well. Yeah, my name is Amazee. Okay, something that most people do not know about me. Okay, well, that's a hard one because I don't really have any filters. Not a lot of people know that I went through a lot of suffering. I think that could be the answer. The amount of suffering that I've been through as a being on this planet, in this reality, perhaps because I don't talk about it too much. So perhaps my life experience is quite sacred or hidden. Although now I'm speaking more about it because it all makes sense right now to actually speak about it, because it's helping other people as well to move forward, especially in the moment we're living in.
Beautiful, beautiful. And what was your fork in the road, that moment where your life completely took a turn and you started becoming who you are?
The moment I saw the light. I would say I was about 22 years old. And I was coming out of a relationship with the love of my life. And he was schizophrenic, unfortunately. So I had actually become, in that state where I wasn't sure, I could see the light and I could see the dark in everybody. Because he would express the devil within him and then the angel. So I was kind of like very lost in what was true and what wasn't true. And it was when internet was just starting, and I had a message pop up on. I just found something. I found this place called the School of Love, and it was this tantric place in the southern of Spain, in Granada, in the mountains, and they have like these beautiful mountains with waterfalls. And anyway, and at the time, my friends were all a bit like, what are you doing? Why would you want to go to some house of love? They thought it was something crazy. What are you doing? And there was something inside of me just calling me to go to this place. I knew I needed to go to this place. And the wife of my guru, who at the time, she kind of knew she needed to call me in. Like the guides are just telling her, say yes to this girl, even if there was no space to say yes. So when I arrived, the experience was something that it was a turning point in my life. Like he would speak about astrology. And in the mountains, there's this tantric energy, which is all about love to oneself, love to nature, and love to life. And then obviously, the whole sexual thing comes after that. Although it's been so marked, in the system that we live in as, devilish and, not good. Tantra is like, ooh, but actually there's so much to Tantra. It's a way of life. It's a way of living. It's just understanding that we're all energy, and that if there's not a balance, then, things just don't work right. So it's as simple as, we're light and we're conscious. So from that time on, I discovered through going to this place and meeting my guru that, I had this voice, and that I was given this voice to share love to the world. And that was kind of my initiation of going to, I was either London or New York. And that's what took me off to go to London and, seek my destiny in London. And I went back a few times when I was in London, because at that time I was kind of singing in the conscious raves. It wasn't conscious then, actually, sorry, no, it was just underground. I was introduced in the London underground with, people musicians playing the drums and MCs on the vocals, and watching how production was working and how they created events. And I was kind of sitting back just dancing and listening to the sound, because I used to love clubbing. And I would compare that to my tribe in the mountain, and how we used to dance around the fire. And I would bring in, so when I'd go to my guru, I would start speaking this kind of Manglish sound. And it was a bit like, we paint our faces, and I'd be like, with the wife, and she'd be like, and then suddenly I would take that to the city. So I transformed that and I brought it into the underground. And that's what would raise the vibration into this kind of crazy tribe in the middle of the city. It was, unfortunately, there was no A&R, because everyone was literally off their faces, because there was a lot of drugs. Right. So no one really caught my talent. So it was a bit like, that was the story, but it all came from there. That was the reason why I do what I do. And that's what inspired me to lift up and to understand that everything that happens to me is happening for me, if you will.
So you kind of discovered some sort of connection to an ancient or a space language or something, and you started channeling that through the singing. I know exactly what you're talking about, because I've done it. At some point, it just comes through, and you start going, and it just and you're dancing, and it just really goes, and it gets really beautiful or really crazy. I mean, it depends on the energy, But I know exactly what you're talking about. So tell us, what was your worst moment? Like if your life is a movie or a book, and then that was kind of like the inciting incident that really kicks your story, right? Then the story keeps going. You meet allies, you meet enemies, you meet guardians, you meet messengers, right? And then at some point, your life starts going downhill, and it hits until it hits like rock bottom. And that's kind of like the transmutation of your journey, right? When was your worst, like your deepest, darkest moment?
Okay, so that is a really good question. I love your questions, by the way. So my deepest, darkest moment would have been when I was in London. I spent 10 years in London. I was 17 years in the UK. So I left the magical island, the innocent girl, to go to the underground of London, thinking that she was going to be the next Madonna, not like, in the system, but there was a calling, that fire inside, the light worker, my soul mission. Like, I knew my soul mission very, very, a while ago, but what I didn't realize is that I had to live a lot of life experiences and abuse, So my worst would be, so in 2008, I'd been through various different abusive relationships with men, where I would be beaten up, or because I was running from a very low. My belief system was not at a high frequency, so I was running from I'm not good enough, I'm not worthy. But my third eye was like a bullet. Like, I knew where I wanted to go, but I was creating it from a very low space. Yeah. So all of these things had to happen to me for me to love myself and come back to my power, right? So, my back suddenly went, and I suffered severe chronic back pain for 10 years, from 30 to 40 years old. Yeah. And so I tried all sorts of different massages, all sorts of different treatments, acupuncture, chiropractor, osteopath, everything pretty much, any treatment I could try. I went through that. I also went through the process of understanding how to manage my pain. First of all, accepting I had a pain, and I was a granny, an old lady, a young person in the body of an old lady who was not able to move. So if I did something in the morning, then I couldn't do something in the afternoon again. Yeah. At the beginning of the pain, I was still with my child's dad, who was also abusive against me. But the worst part of the whole 10-year was the 10-year phase was at the end of it, because they say when you come to the resolution of a body pain, it tends to increase, so it tends to get worse. Yeah. So I was seeing this woman. I did EFT. I'm an EFT and re-imprinting of the matrix practitioner now. So it's all about tapping and going into memories and traumas within our subconscious mind that are still living today, and making sure that the inner child is now okay. So solving it, creating a resolution, and then changing that perception, that belief system, just changing the belief system. So I was at the end of that process. And I remember I went to a rave in London to sing for a friend of mine, and suddenly I had this Eastern European DJ come in, and we were all kind of all about the love, and I was chatting about emotions and singing, and this guy pulled out my mic. It was like, rah, threw it on the floor, and I was like, oh. And there was a sudden moment that I kind of went, and like I couldn't speak, I couldn't express. I didn't know how to. I felt all the negative beliefs that I felt before, that I wasn't good enough, that I wasn't worthy. Yeah. And then I went home, and the next day I had this shooting pain down my leg. It was like, vroom, right? And after 10 years of having the pain here in my waist and not being able to move very well from my spine, I kind of knew that it had moved. So this was a good thing. But it was so intense. I was taking like 600 ibuprofen during the day. It was very, very intense. I managed to fly to Spain to get an MRI scan, because in England it's very difficult. The NHS won't just give you a scan. You have to go round and round. And my mum had a doctor, and they did a scan, and it was a herniated disc. So I had no water in my spine, basically. It was very rigid. In L4, L5, there was no water. It comes from a belief of I'm not taken care of. That's the beliefs of the reduction of water within the spine. So so the doctor said, it's a herniated disc. It had actually come out. The cushion had come out, but the problem is that the cushion was kind of like coral. It was rigid because there was no water. Yeah, it wasn't like coral, but it was kind of like coral, because when they took it out, that's what it looked like. It was like 4 centimeters long, but it was pressuring on my sciatica nerve. And so I spent 6 months waiting for an operation. I found some doctors in Germany, and I did it privately. And it was a keyhole operation. And, so I had to wait for 6 months, but those 6 months were the worst 6 months of my life, because I was literally taking my daughters to school, and I was literally, I was single, and I was running a business with 85 clients, and I was doing all the invoices manually. Can you imagine, like, bending down on my bed? I bought a remote adjustable bed, but I literally couldn't lie straight. I had to lie on my side. It was so bad. And then once I had the operation, I went on my own because nobody would come with me. So I was like, okay. And once I had the operation, it took a year for the pain to completely go away, because the sciatica nerve has a memory. Yeah. So it's bruised, so it needed to heal. So it took about a year for me to come back to myself. But that was about 40. So when I was about 42, I was completely pain-free. Now I'm 45 and I'm completely pain-free. But that was basically the time where I was in the most excruciating pain. And I couldn't say, oh, I don't want to see it, yeah. And that's why I had to do the work. And that's why I'm where I am now. This is why I'm an empty vessel. This is why I can channel. This is why I'm in some way like a shaman when I do my work. And I can speak about body pain because I know what it's like, And when people say to me, oh, no, it's okay. I'll just do a massage. I'm like, okay, you go. Good luck. Good luck, love.
That's exactly. And it totally leads to my next question, right? What you're already saying, what is the lesson that you learned out of this? Because now I'm seeing, it became physical. You had to have that experience in order to become the shaman. You had to go through the dark night of the soul. You had to have the pain to know what it feels so that you can help people, because now you can't help anybody if you don't know. So what lesson did you learn what is the elixir, the boon that you got out of that experience?
Well, the lesson that I learned is that pain happens for you. It doesn't happen to you. Yeah, it's not for you to become the victim, because I spent a lot of time in that victim consciousness without even knowing, because pain naturally takes you there. Because if you let pain control you, you know what I mean? If you can then relate to pain as not actually pain, just a different feeling, and make friends with your pain and understand and ask your pain. And I discovered that basically everything that happens to us physically has something to do emotionally. It has to do with the disbalance of your chakras. It has to do with, like, you know, where are you at a low vibration? Where are you vibrating at a low frequency? Where in your body are your body cells not happy? Where in your body cells have you abandoned that part of your body? Yeah. Because I also had cervical cancer as well, just a couple of scrapes. But that was because until I was 30, I did not enjoy sexuality. I did not enjoy being with a man. Yeah. So I abandoned that space. I abandoned that place because I blocked it out. I pretend. Yeah, like a lot of women do. And therefore you abandon the area. So it goes off. You know, that's what happens. And you have to, what I learned is that through affirmations, you can restructure the body. You really can, you know, doing affirmations and changing and reprogramming the system. What I learned is that we're like computers, and all you need to do is reset the button. Yeah. And what I learned is that it's very important to nurture and to love yourself. And that until you don't love yourself, nothing's going to change around you. Until you don't, you know, shift your vibration to a higher frequency and you're standing in your power, you know, doesn't matter how much you open your heart, you're going to lose yourself because you're opening your heart, and that's great. But, you know, you're opening your heart to everyone and anything. Yeah. So it's important to open your heart, but it's important to have personal power. And also it's important to have a direction. Where are you going? What is your soul mission? Yeah. I learned that as well, but I had my soul mission. I knew my soul mission. This is the difference between me and a lot of people. Some people don't know their soul mission, but I knew my calling, and I was from a very young age, but the rest of my chakras were out. You know, I wasn't rooted. I didn't feel like I had a base, because I didn't feel accepted when I was a little girl. You know, and it's basically, life is very simple. And what I've learned as well is that, you know, once you can navigate through life and you can actually work with these lessons and understand that we are, you know, activate the body so you can really integrate what you're thinking. There's no point going to a therapist and listening. They listen to you talk. Yeah, la, la, la. I've done it. They listen to you talk and then you talk back, and then, or they just watch you, you know, or they guide you and they give you a bit of an idea, but then you go home and you're just getting triggered in the same way. The same as when you get a body treatment. You get home and you're triggered in the same way. Your wife says something and then your inner child's like, how dare she? And it's just like, you know, and then your body's like, again. So yeah, that's what I learned. I learned that basically we need to nurture ourselves and reprogram ourselves to be able to see the light, to be able to understand what we're made of. And yeah, focus on our soul mission, be able to understand the purpose that we're here for. Like it's not just us, we're here to do something. To understand that the body is just the computer, it's just the temple, it's the cathedral that carries you around. To nurture it, look after it, water the flowers in your garden, you know. Don't wait for someone else to water it. Don't wait for someone else to enlighten the love within you, because that's what we do. Oh, I wonder if this is the guy. I wonder if this is the one. I wonder if he's going to take me out. Why didn't he take me out? Why didn't he? Well, hang on a minute. Take yourself out, you know. Press that button of love within, because you need to press it first. You can't wait for someone else to keep pressing the button, because then you're in lack. Yeah. So that's what I learned.
Beautiful, beautiful. That's visceral. Literally was visceral. 10 years of pain. That's absolutely the body. So that's truth. So what keeps you up at night now?
Oh, actually nothing right now. You. No,
I mean, like what kind of stuff is in your head that's like, what are you concerned about that it's like, is it like outside, inside, what is it? Where's your focus? Where's your attention and thinking? Oh
okay.
my God, I gotta do something about this, or you know what I mean?
Yeah. Okay, so more of a concern now in my life, it's more of an excitement. Before, years ago, it was a concern because I woke up when I was about 15 years ago. I woke up to the satanic rituals, to all the nastiness, to all the darkness that was here. And at that time, people would just call me conspiracy theorist. You're a nutter, you're crazy, whatever. So I kind of kept it in. But there was a lot of anger within me. There was a lot of, I was in London on my own when the Olympics were happening, and I knew what was happening, the whistleblowers, and it was just like, I had rice in my house. People thought I was mental, But I think now my main focus is my soul mission, and my main focus is maintaining the frequency very high and holding the light for what is to come. Yeah. And we know very, very clearly that it's coming. It's about to blow, right? So before, I was always into researching. I mean, I know I've sent you loads of information on Q, and I have a member on the island that is very connected to Q, and there's information that he gives me that I don't find anywhere else. So I share it. But, I've been kind of coming off of that because for me, it's not about, we know about the darkness and we know about the system. And I think individuals like myself, my calling, I know now it's not about talking about the truths. There's a lot of people doing that now. It's like, I know that right now for me, my thing is to get ready to hold the light and to be able to guide people, to have my setting ready. This is where I do my online dance, to actually be ready to hold the light for others. And at the moment, my focus is literally, I feel like I'm starting to master every single lesson that comes to me. And it's very exciting because it's like everything that happens to me, like if my car breaks down, it's like, okay, what am I supposed to do? And basically it's just, Amanda, stop running around trying to find money and making money. Sit down, surrender, manifest, activate your Merkabah. And then when I do that, the next day I got all these calls for work. That's my main focus. I'm now using technology that has been hidden away from us. It's now being given to us on this earth through different people that are channeling this. I follow some teachers that I'm following right now, and they're doing these workshops where we're learning how to activate our Merkabah. We are learning and remembering that we were part of a tribe in Atlantis. We are remembering that we were all priests and priestesses. We're remembering all of this. This is where my focus is right now. It's not, I really am not looking at Trump. I really am not looking, I actually, because, you could be waiting forever, love. It's the same, no, seriously, no, people are, sometimes they are just waiting. They're just waiting for things to happen, and it's fine. But actually, when it does happen, and your family is screaming at you and going, oh my God, you were right. What should we do? What should we do? Like, what are you, truther or person that is awake? What are you going to offer? What are you going to be doing? Like yourself, you're interviewing people, you're doing so much, but it's about knowing about the darkness, but also the focus now is, okay, we know about the darkness. Okay. So we know we want to live with love, right? Okay. So there's a lot of work to do here. Even truthers and people that are awake, they have traumas, they have belief systems that need to be reprogrammed. So let's do this now. That's the focus. The focus is right now to heal. My focus is to be able to heal others and to heal. Yeah. And making sure that I live in my new earth, high vibration, 5D lifestyle, which is a bit of a difficulty. Sometimes when you navigate in 3D, it doesn't happen often. But the other day I went in a train because I had to get a train because my car broke down. And I went to my friend's house for dinner, and I went in the train. This is in Spain. So they're very militant here. They're very, they're like, it's like Franco times. Oof. So anyway, well, yeah, they are. They're very, and also it's that whole masculine energy, isn't it? It's like, oh, I've got someone to shout out, it's the ego. And I walked into the train, and there was these two security guards, and they were like, Majarilla? And I was like, oh, no, I haven't got a mascarilla, you know, and they were like, off the train, off the train. And I was like, what? I couldn't believe it. And I was just standing there. I didn't move. I was just trying to breathe and actually take in what was actually happening. I was like, are we still here? Is this still real? You know, because I live such a, you know what I mean? I go into nature. I have my little conscious things that I do. It's hard to do, but I maintain. I take my green juices. I, you know, take superfoods so that all the toxins are out of my body. I meditate and ground into the 5D core of Mother Earth, because that's where we need to be grounding into now, the crystalline core, because the core is activated now, right? Anyway, it was just basically, it was a rude awakening and a shock. It was like literally moving into another dimension. It was like moving into the density. I was in the third dimension. And yeah, it was just a rude awakening. So that's kind of like where I am, you know, at a very high vibration. Yeah. You have to be at a high vibration for what's coming, though.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. Absolutely. It's crazy. So Spain is really still going through that bullshit. Wow.
Well, trains and hospitals. Yeah. Everywhere else, nobody wears it. Like, you know, you have festival seasons in the villages, and we had a party on the beach in my village square, and they put sand all over the square, and they have a band, and there were like loads of people stuck together. But in the train, you have to wear the mask.
So they're still trying to push it through kind of like transportation and public hospitals and stuff like that. But it's kind of, people are just, it's not really hitting people. Like people are not believing it anymore.
Well, I don't know. Some people still believe it.
Yeah.
Some people still believe the sea is very real.
You still see the timeline.
Yeah, of course. Yeah. I mean, whenever on the news there's more stuff about it, I over the COVID, I would only know because I would see the old people with masks and more people with masks. When there was no masks on the street, it'd be like, oh, okay, it's died down now. Oops, hang on a minute. And then when I'd see masks, it would be like, oh, hang on, there's another variant, you know.
Another variant, right? So what is your vision for humanity's future?
Okay, I think it's the way I see it is that where we are going is going to be a beautiful, beautiful place. And I think that, I mean, it's not like we're moving totally to a different place, but I think that right now people are mixing with each other, but not so much so depending on, oh, okay, I go with these guys because I love playing paddle and they play paddle, you know, or I love going with these guys because they play very good music. It's actually more about the density that you're at. You know, I think we're dividing depending on the frequency that we're at and the belief systems, you know, like, do you have a limited mind or are you awake? Yeah, that's kind of the division now. So I feel that more and more people might come together in tribes, or there'll be communities of people kind of, you know, moving to a place where they feel more at resonance with what's surrounding them. I feel that there will be that movement. In fact, there already is. A lot of people have moved, yeah, because they're looking for peace, or they're looking for land, or they're looking for, so it's already happening. But I think this is the very beginning of what's to come. And I do believe there is going to be turbulence. You know, it's not going to be, you know, it never is. When you're rebirthing, you know, giving birth to a child, it's messy, right? Yeah, but it's oh so beautiful as well at the same time. So I feel that we're going to come to that, Nirjara Jazara is already happening for me energetically. I think the quantum system is already activated in many ways. And I feel that, yeah, we won't have to work so much, I hope. I do believe in that. I do believe that is going to happen, and that we're going to have the help, and we're going to have new technologies that are going to be here for us to heal. And in fact, I'm already using activation of my Merkabah. We all have a Merkabah, you know. Do you know about the Merkabah? Leonardo da Vinci drew this triangle. One's looking to the sky, the other one's looking to the earth. Yeah. So there's a way of activating it, and it's basically like universal geometry within us. It's like a massive crystal inside us. Okay, so activating this crystal, you can manifest whatever you want. So Jesus, you know, he was an ascended master using his Merkabah. He wasn't just, you know, doing miracles. He was actually using the technology that we all have, you know, and that's where we're going. We're going to be, you know, telepathy. We're not even going to have to speak, you know. I do believe that that is where we are going. And I believe that everyone like yourself and myself that have been working for so many years for the light and holding the light, and, you know, it's going to be much easier for us. I believe that we are going to be the forefronts, you know, the ones, we're going to be the leaders. We're going to be the new Hollywood stars, if you will, you know, well, I don't, yeah, not exactly, but you know what I mean? In the new earth, I think that, you know, it's not going to be about, oh, you know, let me listen to this artist. It's going to be more about, oh, let me have this experience with this individual, because we can create whatever we want right now. Anything goes. Anything goes. You don't have to be limited to writing a song with a chorus and a verse. You know, why? Why does it have to be that systematic way? Why can't you just flow and then come in and do it more like a mantra or more like a meditation? Or who's to say how you can express what you want to express? Because what you have to express is totally unique, right? So this is going to be a beautiful, creative, unique way of living and space that we're going to be in. And, you know, it's just taking the steps slowly towards that, you know, but we're there, you know, it's exciting, definitely very, very exciting. And also with the galactic sun, like all of these activation codes that are literally gonna, you know, in some way kind of wipe out, you know, this solar flash, you know, like this rainbow light that's gonna occur. We don't know when, but we need to be ready for that, because that's going to be super powerful, right? It's going to be powerful. So the more you work on your shadows now, the better. Don't just wait on your computer for the flash. Oh, where's the flash happening? Oh, this guy's saying it's happening next week. Hang on, wait. This one's saying it's happening in 2 months. Hang on, wait. It's like, no, just go in, get ready for this, because you have no idea. Like, you know, the shift that we're moving into, this is something that hasn't happened in millions of years. I don't know, but this is crazy.
Just like Jesus said, you know, or I think it was Jesus. I'm not sure if it was Jesus, but I think it's in the Bible said, you know, it will come like a thief in the night, right? When will be taken and when will be left, right? What does that even mean? And I think it's talking about the timelines. You know, it's really being aware of. I guess for me is just being at peace and not expecting or wanting or needing anything to happen because it's already happened. Because it's really about an understanding of time, right? If we can collapse time, the time is if we are waiting for it to happen, for the, you know, the white hats and the quantum system and the, oh, it's gonna come and it's gonna give us everything, right? It's like, no, we're just, you know, we're here, it's already here. It's about having a party and loving each other and having a good time and really giving that light that you have right now, just really giving it, because the time is now. That's the way I see it, right? It's already happening. So what are you doing right now to contribute to this vision that you have?
Okay, let me just stop you there. I'm just gonna say something, because exactly what you were saying, that's exactly what it is, right? So the lesson here is that don't have expectations. You know, it's like basically you are the experience now, because it's happening now. You know, and the more you kind of flow into it, and you kind of get into the, you know, you go into the pool of, you know, this whole movement, you feel it. You know, because the moment you're like waiting for Q, waiting for the white hats, you're giving your power away.
Yeah, but it's also waiting for Nisara Gesara or the quantum financial system.
Just waiting for someone, again, waiting for somebody else to do it for you. It's like, no, you are the change. Exactly. Yes. Sorry, I just wanted to add that in. That was amazing.
Absolutely, yes, absolutely. Yeah, we're in the same train. So what are you doing physically? What's your thing? Because now you can dance now, because you went through the whole thing on your back, and now you're dancing, like you're healing it. So so this is amazing. It's like you're the living healing. right? And that in itself, let me tell you, that in itself, it's a whole training, like, because you conquer something physical, and you downloaded the codes for that healing, meaning you're coagulated manifested healing. And so the fact that you're dancing and you're creating this dance, you're moving because you had a thing popping out of your back, a whole, what is it called, a disc or something.
It was a herniated disc.
Herniated disc. And now that's for, that is epic stuff. So the fact that now you're dancing, that the way that I see it is literally you're the physical manifestation of healing. That is incredibly powerful. To tell us about that. What is it that you're doing, with the dance, with how are you bringing that healing in your, or how is it? Maybe it's because I am a dancer, so I understand that I love dancing. And so, and I love raves, and that's my favorite kind of music. And so I know that putting dance into words is like, you don't do that. It's like, there's really no way of explaining it, because the dance is the language. And so, but, just share with us, how are you contributing to your vision, to bringing this kingdom of heaven on earth, manifesting all of this knowledge? Because now you're talking about the Merkabah, and I totally understand that is the activation, proper flowing of the energy fields, right? And then you have the machine, and you can travel in consciousness and eventually take the body with you, right? So all of this vision that you're seeing in the world, what are you doing right now? Tell us what you're doing.
Okay, so basically, what I'm actually doing right now, you slowly, from all your skills and all your experiences, to create your soul mission, because it's totally unique to you, to create your soul mission, it takes years to figure out, it takes a bit of time to figure out how to merge it all together, right? Yeah, because sometimes we've got so many different things we want to do, because we're light workers, we work with the light. So it's like, oh my God, how do I work with the light? I can go this way, that way. I used to vocalize, so I had that whole vocalizing in clubs, yeah. But through my pain, my 10 years of pain, apart from doing energy work and tapping and doing other energy work to be able to heal my body, I also did 2 years of something called Vital Danza, Vital Development. Okay, so it's basically, it's like biodancer. So the psychologist, psychologist in Chile called Ronaldo Toros, he discovered that in the 70s, he discovered that through music, you can heal emotions and you can heal the body and so on, right? Yeah. So my teacher, who's now she's in Argentina now, but she was based in London, she trained with him. And then she created something called Vital Development. And her background was more art. She was more into art and tantra and mythology, and like kind of a little bit more, a bit more free than the doctor, the doctor's take on this. So I trained with her for 2 years. I went to the training every once a month. This is me with a chronic back pain. Sometimes people had to drive me, So don't tell me you can't dance. You understand? Okay, but even though I was just wiggling or sitting down doing a powerful work on myself, I was healing at that time. It didn't matter if I couldn't move perfectly, but I would still move my body. I wouldn't stop, because I knew that that's what I wanted to do, right? And I knew that that was healing my body. And I was crying because I couldn't look at people in the eye at one point. Some people can't. You just, for fear or embarrassment or not loving yourself. And these exercises taught me how to be able to look at somebody in the eye and understand that they're simply a reflection of you. So in Vital Danza, I guide you, and what we do is we use the other person as someone that you can work with, to work with yourself, to work on yourself, So I did that for 2 years. And then I was doing the emceeing in the clubs, From clubs, I moved to more conscious raves. So I was doing conscious festivals where it's all energy, And I used to do something with a friend of mine, they were called yoga raves, where we'd get people with glitter, and my friend would do the yoga, and then I would guide people through the dance, and we'd have a DJ, and So I then started doing So I would take the emceeing and the vocalizing and then create the dance. Yeah. And then I'd have a DJ, a flute player, and a drummer, or a percussionist. And I would basically give them the set of music that I wanted. So to have, you know, a bit of dub, a bit of reggae, and then I'd have, you know, something to activate you, like some house tunes. You know, some of them were more like yin energy. Some of them were more like, you know, linear movements, like Here I Am, you know, like moving things away, like what you don't want in your life, like move it away. And I would combine it. It depends. You could work on many different things. You can work on feminine energy. We can speak about masculine energy. You can speak about the elements. You can dance about the elements. You can dance with chakras. You can start understanding yourself by dancing it and activating your body with the music. Yeah. So I combine that all together, and that's what I'm doing now. So I'm doing online dance where I have my setup, I have my DJ setup, and I play tunes, and I have a mic. So I run you through the dance, yeah? And then you're doing it at home. So you put your set of speakers up, and you work on yourself. You work on yourself at home, you know, you can cry at home. You see, this is the perfect time because it's all about this feminine divine energy, right? That is where we're moving into the flow. So you don't have to go out, you know, to a rave to dance now. That's like dinosaur. I mean, you can easily, you can easily dance at home. You can easily do this at home. And it's the best place right now because the problem that I had when I was doing this in Brighton, I'd have people come, but it was mostly the conscious people, the flakies, the fluffies, you know, the unicorn believers. Yeah. Like my people that I would follow in London, the ravers, none of them would come to my conscious raves because I was like, no, I ain't doing that. No alcohol, no drugs, having a laugh, mate. Do you know what I mean? So it was really hard for me. It was very hard at that time to integrate it. But sometimes you can be way ahead of the game when you have a project or we have a vision. And that can be something that can fail in your business. It can be something that goes wrong. But, you know, now is the right time. Now is the right time for this, you know, for something fresh like that. So that's kind of what I'm offering. And I vocalize at the same time. So it's kind of like sound healing and vital movement for the body, you know.
Yeah, so you're basically bringing your embodied healing through your dance and broadcasting that signal.
Yeah, and I'm speaking from my life experience. It comes very naturally to me to speak about it and to get you to dance. I'm not like a Beyonce dancer. Do you know what I mean? Like, it's not like I've been to dance classes. Like if I go to a yoga class, I get really confused of left to right. Because the thing is, no, but I'm not logical. I'm not in my mind. Yeah. When I'm doing it, I'm in my heart. Yeah. So, you know, you might dance like that. I might dance like this, you know, everyone dances in a different way. So it's about finding your dance, finding your movement, and everybody can dance. I love it when people go, oh, I can't dance with that glass of wine. It's just like, you know, the mums at my child's school, they'd be like, oh, I can't come, darling. You know, I can't. No, I need some wine. I'm like, okay. Okay, laters, you know. But now people are finding that it is important to do this because people are feeling the energies and they're in pain. People are in pain and people have lost their direction. Like, you know, it's no longer about the ego. It's like they're coming into themselves and accepting. So I'm hoping that now I'll be able to, in some way, earn a living with this and actually enjoy my time. And, you know, I think for all of us light workers, it's been a long ride. Yeah. But this is our time.
I think that the living might actually be just, you know, it might not even be about this. It's like, you know, you just get a job, whatever it is, and then do this because of complete healing. And it's like, this is, and then at some point, you know, Holy Spirit comes through and say, you know, boom, here it is. But at the point where you're just completely like, let go of the entire thing. Because I think that's where I've been through a whole like kind of like mid grinder of like, you know, this is the work and you just do it. And then you feel the natural kind of like healing. And then you just take care of the bills however you can, you know, and in any other ways. And then the door opens, but when you no longer like you're seeking for it. I mean, that's just where I've been in my own experience, you know. It's we're in mysterious times and the spirit moves in mysterious ways. you know?
Yeah, me too. I think as light workers, it's very, very challenging right now because we know where we're supposed to be. We know the information is important, but not everybody wants it right now yet. You know, we've got to be patient. And as far as I see it, you know, currency is a frequency, right? It's abundance is basically, I've had cleaning jobs come to me. I used to run a cleaning business. I just shut it down before I came to Spain, a 7-year holistic, eco-friendly cleaning business, you know, as a businesswoman. And I dropped it. I dropped it because I was done. I had enough because it was all the COVID and you couldn't go, you know, I couldn't find cleaners. Everyone was like, oh, I'm moving somewhere else. Or, oh, I can't do this because, you know, I don't want to wear a mask. It doesn't matter. The fact is that it was very 3D. And I was like, okay, this is my time. Yeah. But I was in debt and I still am. But what I understand is that, you know, I've had some cleaning jobs come to me and I'm cleaning, you know, I love doing it. And that's the thing. Universe is providing me that because it's like, okay, Amma, just be humble. You love cleaning, get to that high vibration, get to that high frequency of joy, get out, feel like you're being active. And I've been doing that. And my frequency has gone higher because I feel like I'm doing something, and I'm still serving. I'm doing a service to others. I'm doing a service to humanity. And therefore, I feel useful. I feel good. I feel empowered, And I know that the rest of it will just fall into place.
I totally see it with the dance. Like the dance that you're talking about is cleaning the heart, cleaning the emotions, right?
Yeah.
And that is the healing, because ultimately I see it myself when I clean my room, when I clean the house, I'm cleaning my mind, I'm cleaning my, whatever stuff and everything. It's all connected. When you connect physical with spiritual, with emotion, it kind of like, it has a double, triple effect. And I totally see it like happening right now for a lot of people. I think for all of us, because we have like, I totally hear you, because we are so multidimensional. We have all these little ideas and coming from everywhere, and we see the entire picture, and you go like, people are going, they're not seeing anything, and you're like, wake up, and then they're not getting it. And then at some point you go like, well, at least what I did was, I'm just gonna do my thing because it brings me joy. And then I'm going to take care of whatever needs to be taken care of. Because at some point, this is kind of like the beauty that I've and this, I'm just sharing a little bit about here, is that I know and I'm manifesting, but at the same time, I'm also a piece of the puzzle. And I have something to give that the universe, Holy Spirit wants me to bring. And sometimes in my own, I'm the manifestor, I have the power of the Merkabah and create my alignment of everything. In that place, I miss kind of like the mystic spiritual shaman that comes through you and has a very specific thing that's giving you. And you're like, fuck, but I don't want to do that shit.
No,
but you know what I mean,
it's a practice, and it's it's that feminine divine, it's that flow, it's surrendering. Yes. Because we're like, come on Merkabah, why aren't you working now? But actually the thing is that maybe Merkabah, for you to arrive to that space, maybe you need to be learning a different lesson first. Maybe there's a few things that you need to be doing first, and you're not seeing that because you're so eager to get to that point.
Right.
You know what I mean?
You want to skip grades.
Yeah, and it's like you can't do that. So it's kind of like, but all in its divine timing, right? Okay. And it's like, cleaning is something that it's basically, for me, it's like cleansing me. It's like it's my time where I allow my ideas to flow. It's like when you're driving. When you're driving.
The one thing that I see you have is your healing. That is incredibly powerful. I mean, the fact that you literally, physically, now you're fucking dancing. I mean, that is like epic. I mean, it's like that. If I were to look at you and say, what is it that Amazee has, is that power of healing. And it's like that, I think that is what's coming through. And it's like, you just have to because it's like a puzzle, right? You almost got it, but it's like, there's like a piece that doesn't fit here. But is that's the essence that I'm getting. Because how many people out there have been having experiences of like abuse and pain and challenges, right? and then suddenly that became physical. And then to be able to have that transmutation from having all the pain and emotion, and then it becomes physical, and then you fucking heal it. That is epic. And so I see that's just I'm just kind of what I'm the vibration I'm getting from what you're saying. But before we get into something else, I just want to ask you one thing. What do you think we can do to inspire unity among different groups of the truth movement?
What, to try and get people to be more united, you mean? Yeah.
Well, not get them, but because we can't really get them, but just how can we help inspire? I'm totally changing the whole thing, because we have to move forward.
You know what? I actually think that the whole truth community is kind of the same as the ones that are not awake. It's like the people that are not awake are just in a different density. They're just in a different dimension. And the ones that are waking up, that are kind of not inspired, but they're still kind of waking up. They're still kind of absorbing the information. And so it's all quite dark, and there's a lot to think about and a lot to read, and so many different documents and so many things that are happening, and all the crumbling of the system. And it's a lot for them. It's a lot of information for them. And as well, they're kind of in a mesmerized state. It's like they're still quite lost. So I feel that, what could help and inspire them is to maybe start looking at themselves. I think that is really the secret right now. What are you eating? Yeah. What are you doing to release the toxins of the system that is controlling you and controlling your mind? Because you're still being controlled by the information that's coming from the outside. What are you doing in your life to become more conscious? What are you doing in your life to get closer to the light? Or are you feeding more darkness? Are you feeding yourself more? Because that's what we're doing. We're constantly reading about what's happening, and it's like, we know. We don't need, but some people actually identify to that information as well. It's natural. Yeah, because we're identifying it, because we no longer identify to Netflix because they're all, bloodsuckers, whatever, right? We don't identify to that stuff because it doesn't resonate anymore. So now we're resonating to, the truth and to what's happening. But again, you're still kind of like not quite focusing on your power, your love, your heart, your expression, your communication. We are trying and we are doing that, but, are you putting your boundaries down? Are you thinking about, what would you do voluntarily? What would you do without charging money? That's probably your calling. That's your soul mission, right? I think what would inspire people to come together is maybe having a space where people can start healing. I think what inspires is finding your tribe. There's a lot of light workers, and there's a lot of star seeds that are doing really amazing work right now, and it's about finding your tribe and remembering who you were. That's the information we need to be looking for now, really. That's the next step. That's it, because we're now coming into galactic times. This is no longer about the reptilians that were here for some years and have done this mess, because at the end of the day, this mess happened for us. The duality, the separation, that happened for us to grow, for us to become Christ consciousness once again, right? This has happened for us.
Yeah, it's a catalyst.
It's happened for us, because in Atlantis, that's what happened, right? The reptilians came because of that reason. Apparently, we were too flaky, and we were never going to be ascended masters because we were partly Arcturians, I think, something like that, or no, Lemurians. I'm learning about all of this. This is the research that I'm doing, finding out that we have all different, species out there in our DNA, and some of us, aren't from here. That's why, if most of us, us lot, I remember when we were little, people would say to me, "You're not from this planet," and I'd be like, "Oh, okay, well, but now I understand. Now I understand that I'm not. Actually, I've been here before, but I'm from other places, and I've come here to hold the light right now, like many of us, thousands of us, millions of us on this planet. So I think it's that, finding out that information and realizing that you're so much more than what you see. You know, you're so much more than just the computer that's in front of you, and just believing that and knowing that and being able to navigate with that in your heart. That's essential.
So bringing that knowledge that we have that connection to the stars, and that we're much more at a genetic level than what we appear to be, and that at that point it's like we can see, okay, we're truly unified and we're truly amazing beings.
Yeah, and I think one last thing as well, that's what you can do with sound and frequency, because sound and frequency takes you to the 6th, 7th dimension. Okay, we're not talking about the 3rd dimension and the density now. We're not talking about the 4th where you're looking for information. Okay, we're talking about moving into the 5th, but also sensing and feeling the 6th and the 7th dimension through music and sound. And that's what I do with my voice. I take you to, you know, I do sounds, and it sounds like they're coming from a different planet, you know, and that's when you start remembering and you start healing the body. Yeah, that's where we're going.
Yeah, and I see the most practical is like bringing exactly what gave you the healing, because that is exactly what the visceral embodied manifestation. And then if you can translate that somehow, maybe into sound or something, I don't know, I mean, that'd be your job. But I think it's the dance, because I did the 5 rhythms for many years. I don't know if you've heard about that.
Yeah, I have. Yeah.
So I that was my tradition of the dancing, and it was magnificent. You know, you can totally heal so much with, I mean, it doesn't matter whatever tradition, there's tons of modalities, but I think that it's what I'm hearing here is just so much love that really transformed your body, literally, and then giving that love. And that, you know, it doesn't have to be free. You could charge, you know, it could be huge, you know, for people that can't pay, they can't pay. For people that can pay a lot of money, they pay a lot of money, you know. So all of that is available because we are connected with our mission right here, right? So what's your favorite quote?
Oh, I don't know. I can't really think of a quote. I don't know. I think I'm quoting stuff all the time. I don't really know. I don't really follow. I don't know, to be honest. Just
Buddha, maybe Jesus or something. I mean, I don't know. Arcturians.
No, I don't know. Just love life, and life is love, and that's okay. You know, yeah. I think there was one. Actually, I think there was one from Madonna I used to write all the time, but I kind of scraped her out of my head. But it was something like "Life is too short to be bitter" or something like that.
That's not bad. Even
that's all right.
Madonna maybe had a time where she wasn't like evil, you know.
Well, maybe she didn't even realize she was controlled by them. Yeah.
Yeah.
But
I used to like her. I used to like her back in the day, but now.
Yeah, me too. I actually thought she was my sister. Mm-hmm. Yeah. Because my dad had a child with another woman, and she was like around that age, and I had black eyebrows, and so did she, and I was like 8, dancing like a virgin, you know. And I was like, and also, yeah, don't get me wrong, I still have body pain. Okay, I have to manage my pain, but it's not energetic anymore. You understand? It's more physical. It's just because there's less water in there. So I do have to open up my spine and do yoga every day and do the things that I need to do. Yeah, I'm doing cleaning, but when I did my business, the cleaning business is a whole other thing that I took on. Yeah, I created this little Miss Do It All training method because I was cleaning with physical pain. I had to lean on things to literally get down. So I did Alexander technique and I did Thai massage. So I was training my cleaners how to lean onto the stuff and how to hold onto handles and get up. You know what I mean? Like literally, I would train them how to use their skeletal system instead of their muscular system. So that's a thing
right there. That's a thing.
That's our whole. I'm gonna have to do a video on teaching how to clean and also learning how to be in your present moment. Because when I was cleaning that toilet, being a vocalist, I'd be like, what the fuck am I doing here? You know, and then I and then I put my beats out on, and I'd start listening to therapy and to really positive podcasts, or even Alex Jones back in the day. I was just like, okay, I'm on, you know. But yeah. I was thinking, if the clients knew what I'm listening to, it'd be like, damn, you know.
Get her out.
Yeah, she's mad. But I would be in my own space, and I'd learn how to actually come back and understand that it was a service to another person, and that would heal me. That helped me heal my body pain as well. The fact that I was working for someone else and I was serving someone, you know, and getting that energy back from them, that thank you, you know, feeling useful.
But you can dance now. I mean, that's a huge thing. I mean, even let's say you still have back pain, but dancing, it's a whole other level.
Well,
so
okay,
there is a power there. There is a power there. So where can people find you? What is it that you're doing? Your EFT, your Vital Danza, your Vital Development Facilitator. How can they find what you're doing? Tell us a little bit about it, and just, you know, so that people can connect with you and learn how they can heal themselves and use all of these experiences and all this pain, transmute it, and get their ass moving and dancing and clean their lives from the inside.
So, okay, I'm mainly on Telegram, is like where I put everything at the moment. So you can find me on Telegram, Amazee_music, AMAZEE_music. We can put the links. I'll send you the links.
We're going to put the links on the page, yes.
And I'm also on Instagram and YouTube, basically. I'm on Facebook as well, but Instagram just does it for me. But I've also got a website, www.amazeemusic.com. But that's, you know, it's under construction at the moment. But anyway, that's where you can find me. And I actually have very exciting, I've got my first proper event on Zoom on the 14th of August on a Sunday afternoon in Spain. I hope it's not too early for you. Yeah. But I'm charging like 11.11. It's nothing, like 11.11 euros, just so that people can come and feel what it is I do. Yeah, and I'm going to be doing more of those events, dance events. Also, I do EFT. So a few people have actually contacted me because I put a post up on my Facebook about my body pain and how I'm 45 now. And I was kind of topless on the beach, not but with the top on, but I was, you know, just saying how proud I am of my body and how much I love my body. And I got a few people come back to me, you know, with like taking a chemo and with the spine, or, you know, like really severe people are really suffering now. And I also offer just coaching, maybe like body pain coaching. So if you want to reach out to me and you are struggling to get through the pain, I can be accountable for you. And then that will come in with the dance classes as well, you know, so we can speak about it. And EFT is all about tapping, going into memories, going into the inner child, and fixing the base, you know, shifting the negative beliefs of who you are as a person into positive ones, so that you can combine that with the dance, because sometimes dance is not enough. You need to go deeper. Yeah. So that's kind of what I'm offering. And those are the places where you can find me.
Excellent, Amazee. Thank you so much for joining the Pioneers of the Great Awakening. We're so very grateful for your amazing presence. You have so much soul and so much light to bring to the world. And we want to see more of that. We want to hear more music and see more dance, and just see your gracious, lightning and beautiful, exciting and beautiful smile. Thank you so much for joining us. And we're looking forward to see more of what you're doing here. Thank you so much.
Thank you for having me. It's been a real pleasure and an honor. I love the name. I love the name of it, and keep doing what you're doing, because it's all going to have a meaning very soon. So, you know, this is all going to be in the Akashic Records. This is all going to be part of our history, and we are part of it. So yeah, I'm very thankful for this interview.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much.
Blessings.
Bye. Bye, everybody.
Bye, everyone.